I think to put us in a better place to win this one, I think, is obviously taking the learnings I think that we had from Afghanistan. I thought that during that series, especially here in these conditions, I thought we had some really good opportunities to get on top of them, and unfortunately we didn't take those opportunities. So coming into this test match, I think a lot of the discussion is obviously just around where we can get better from that Afghan series. Obviously the last series against Ireland was in Ireland, completely different conditions with the juke ball and that. But I think, having those two test matches here against Afghan, I think will certainly give us a great indication as to where we went wrong and how we can rectify that here against Ireland. Yeah, I think obviously Vinny's been doing really well in domestic, and we are in need of a decent spinner. So if he does get a crack, hopefully he can continue that good form, and then Nick Walsh as well, who's been doing exceptionally well in domestic as well. So it's nice to have guys that are doing well in our domestic structures. We know that the step up from domestic to international is quite big, but at least those guys coming into the squad will be coming in with a lot of confidence. Yeah, no, certainly. I think it's a great opportunity to win a test match. We know that in Zimbabwe's history, we haven't won a lot of test matches, and for a lot of the guys, they haven't played a lot of tests. So for them to experience that feeling of putting in the hard yards over 4 or 5 days of test cricket, and to come out on top is a great feeling. So I think everybody is obviously striving to get to that point. At the end of the day, I think all we can do is take care of the processes, make sure that we're taking care of our preparations, and hopefully that will transfer onto the field. I think looking at the wicket, there is a little bit more grass cover on it. So I think what we're striving for is obviously just a little bit more consistency in terms of pace compared to the wickets that we played at Afghanistan. So I think seamers obviously play a big part in that role. I think both sides are pretty evenly balanced. I mean, obviously against Afghan there was the likes of Rashid and that who can exploit almost any conditions. But I think this wicket will still be a good wicket, and I think a lot of it will come down to disciplines. Learning from Afghanistan, I think we can take a lot out of the way they batted. I thought they were extremely patient. Didn't really look to take the game to us. I think they just batted really patiently, and pretty much built a lot of big partnerships, which put us under pressure. So I certainly think that for us as a batting unit, I think it's about working hard to get yourself in, and then once you do get in, is to go really big and make sure that counts. We've seen in Test cricket, 50s and 60s don't necessarily put you in good positions, but like Afghanistan, getting 170, 200, 230 odd, I think those are the scores that really put you in good positions. Yeah, it could possibly be. It's really exciting to see that we've got this test against Ireland, and then we've got quite a few test matches coming up. So it's certainly something that we can definitely improve on going forward. We'll face different conditions, which will present different challenges, and I think a lot of the guys have played a fair bit of 4-day cricket, but the guys that have had a taste of test cricket, it's obviously very different, and there's a lot of preparation and skill that also goes into a lot of the different tours. So it's definitely an area that we can work on. It's just passing on the knowledge. I suppose if you're fortunate enough to be batting with somebody, you can kind of talk them through it, just through the different situations. There's always ebbs and flows in Test cricket, and I think myself and Sean have obviously played long enough to understand those, and I think other guys would have experienced that, especially in our domestic structures as well. So it's not new to them. I think it's more of us just giving them a reminder that, listen, this is a situation you've probably been in 4-day cricket, and just to give them that clarity, I think that they need to sit back. Okay, well, I've got this under control, and I've just got to be patient with it.
That's great. Looking at the test against Ireland, you almost had Ireland on the ropes, but the following day they came back and they won that test. And then here against Afghanistan, we also had them in a very big spot of bother. So in terms of ruthlessness, what has been the talk within the dressing room about finishing off opposition when the opposition is down?
Yeah, that's always something that you'd like to utilize every time you get in that position, and to make sure that you get right on top of the game and keep the momentum on your side. I think without having played too many test matches, I think you sometimes you may not understand what's the best route to go in order to get that result. And I think that with the amount of test cricket that is coming up, hopefully we get a lot better at putting teams away when we do get into those sort of positions.